Bitcoin just took a massive hit and everyone is freaking out. Was it market manipulation, a whale dumping, or a black swan event? The real question is not why it happened, but what is going to happen next. Right now, there's a clear divide between smart money and dumb money. Some are panicking and are selling everything, while others are quietly positioning themselves for what is coming next. In the next few minutes, I'm going to break down exactly what happened, how I'm interpreting this move, and what you should be doing in the next 24 hours to come out ahead. So let's get started. The real reason why Bitcoin crashed. So 4 years ago, CZ, the founder of Binance, the world's largest crypto exchange, he made this tweet and he said, "I'm waiting for the new headline, Bitcoin crashes from 101,000 to 85,000. He says, save the tweet, because probably in the future you're going to refer back to this tweet. And that's exactly what people have done in the past few hours. They went back to this tweet and CZ was right. This is exactly the headlines that people are seeing in the newspapers right now. In fact, my dad just sent me a headline article or a headline of a news article which said more or less the same as CC is saying here in this tweet. Now, why did all of this happen? Well, of course, you're probably aware the US has a new president, President Donald Trump, and he has a bunch of very, well, let's say out-of-the-box policies, or policies which he announced during his presidency, and now he is actually implementing them and enforcing them. And part of those policies are tariffs, meaning that if people want to sell goods to the US, they need to pay a tariff, meaning an additional import tax, in order to sell those goods to the US market. And the US market right now is one of the biggest consumption markets, so it's a really great market that you want to sell products and services to. And if you want to keep selling to that market, you need to be willing to pay an additional tax. And when that news came out that Donald Trump basically wanted to put a 25% tariff on the European Union, the market started to tank. The stock market, the crypto market, Bitcoin. So why are people panicking? Well, this means that for a lot of companies, it might become a lot more difficult to competitively sell to the US market, meaning that they will miss out on a lot of revenue, on a lot of profit, on a lot of growth, and that their future might not look as bright. Similarly, for people within the US, if they want to still get access to those European-made products, then they must be willing to pay a 25% premium to get those products. So also for the people within the US, life might actually become a lot more expensive. And the market is freaking out about this news. And this has been triggering this recent sell-off. Now, it's not only a sell-off of retail investors. We're actually seeing that the institutions are also selling. BlackRock sold 5,000 Bitcoin. ARK sold also a bunch of Bitcoin. Fidelity sold a bunch of Bitcoin. So this has been the largest ever outflow. And what we're seeing right now is that the fact that these institutions are in the market means that the volatility is actually amplified, because when the market panics and it dumps, then these institutions also need to sell some of their Bitcoin positions in order to reflect the changes in assets under management. So whenever everyone is selling, they also need to sell part of their portfolio. And BlackRock has actually been one of the most steady holders of Bitcoin. Even with significant market dips, they didn't really sell any of their Bitcoin or much of their Bitcoin, but now they actually sold a significant chunk, which put additional selling pressure on the market, driving the price down even lower. However, you need to keep in mind that there might be a bigger reason why BlackRock is selling right now, why many of these institutions are selling right now, and why we're seeing such a big dump in the market, on top of the fact that Donald Trump announced these tariffs. So we're going to talk about that in just a bit, so stay tuned. So what we're seeing right now in the market is something that we call a bear trap. So people, or at least rookie investors or retail investors, tend to believe that when we are in a bull market, it's a straight line up from the bottom to the top. But in reality, that's absolutely not the case. There will be multiple 20, 30, 40, even 50% corrections on the way to the top. And why do these corrections happen? Well, within crypto, there's a lot of tourists, so to say. People that only come into the market when they believe it's gonna pump super hard, but when the market corrects down a little bit, they freak out and they leave the market right away. So they're tourists. They're not sticking through out the whole cycle. They're just coming for short periods of time. They believe they're gonna make a lot of money, but then they get totally destroyed and they leave again. And this happens in phases. So every time the market pumps, these tourists enter the market, they get destroyed, they leave again. Also these, many traders and investors, they use a lot of leverage. So when they believe that the market is going to go up from here, they're going to use 2x, 3x, 4x, 5x leverage. And when there's a lot of leverage in the system, whales know that they can buy a lot of, or they can acquire a lot of cheap Bitcoin by liquidating those leveraged positions. So whales, like BlackRock, like other institutions, suddenly just do the exact opposite of what the market expects. And then all of these people get liquidated, which gives these institutions a really great opportunity to buy cheap Bitcoin. So in the past few hours, I've received lots of DMs from people asking me like, hey, Mitchell, what is your perspective on the market right now? Is the bull market canceled? Are we still going to go up? What do you believe about this dip? The market is not looking great, or the charts are not looking great. And I actually think this is a feature of a bull market. It's programmed in the bull market. The bull market goes in periods of greed and then people get flushed out. Again, a cycle of greed, people get flushed out. And this happens like 3, 4, 5, 6 different times until we finally hit the top. And then when the market dips, it doesn't really recover again. And then the full market cycle resets itself again. But what we're experiencing right now is what I believe to be a bear trap, a short market dump before we go up to new all-time highs. And this is a period where, you know, the same people who are super greedy when Bitcoin is at an all-time high. So, hey, you know, I'm an idiot. Why didn't I buy Bitcoin earlier? And now Bitcoin is already super expensive. It's at 108,000, which was the current all-time high. And now that Bitcoin has dumped down, they're the ones that are telling everyone, like, I knew it, Bitcoin is going to dump, and it's going to dump even harder, and I'm staying the hell away from this risky asset, where, in fact, you know, this is the best time to be in the market. This is where the best opportunities present themselves. Here's another meme. So who wants to buy Bitcoin for 108,000? Of course, you know, when Bitcoin is crushing new all-time high after new all-time high after new all-time high and the market is super greedy, then everyone wants to buy Bitcoin because they believe it's only going to go up from there. But when they can buy Bitcoin at a massive discount, for example, at 86,000, then suddenly those same investors who were super greedy earlier, they are the ones that are now super quiet and that are panicking and selling everything. So that category of people, I call them dumb money. They are exit liquidity. They only buy on greed and they sell on fear. And that is exactly the worst thing you can do in the market. Within the Bitcoin market, we've got this fear and greed index, which ranges from 0, being extremely fearful, to 100, meaning extremely greedy. Right now, the market is fluctuating more or less around a 20. I've even seen it at 10 or 15. So it's at extreme fear levels. And this X account, Titan of Crypto, says, hey, a Bitcoin rally is in preparation. The last time the fear and greed index was this low was in August 2024. It marked a local bottom. Bitcoin then surged from 49,000 to 108,000. So that's more than a 2x. So here's another tweet by Crypto Dives. Crypto fear and greed index is at 21, meaning extreme fear, which is a level seen in August 2024. We spent 1 month around those levels. Do you remember what happened with Bitcoin after that? Let's have a look at the chart below. So again, here they show the fear and greed levels in September, October, which were super low. August and September, which were super low, around 20, 21, 22, 24. And we stayed there for 1 month. And then what happened next? At the end of that period, Bitcoin started to surge and the price went up super hard. And yeah, the rest is history. We went all the way up to 108,000 from there. So for all of you that are super fearful right now, the worst thing that you could do right now is to sell your Bitcoin and get out of the market. I made this mistake in 2017. If you watch some of my previous videos, I always share this historic blunder, this historic mistake that I made. Because, yeah, the market was exactly at a similar position. I believe Bitcoin was at $8,000. And everyone around me at that time was talking about how much money they made with crypto. So I was super greedy and I pulled one of my friends aside and I told him, now you're going to teach me how to invest in crypto. I want to make as much money as you do. So he told me, just simply buy some Bitcoin and Ethereum. And that's exactly what I did. I bought some Bitcoin, some Ethereum. I invested $8,000 of my hard-earned money. And then 1 month later, the market was down with 30%, just like it is right now. And what did I do? I decided to pull all of my money out of the market because I was afraid that it was all going to go to zero. And a few months later, Bitcoin was at 17,000 and I was completely frustrated. I lost a bunch of money and a few months later, Bitcoin was at 17,000, top of the bull market. And all of my friends around me made a lot more money, whereas I lost my hard-earned money. Looking back, I made the biggest rookie mistake. I sold at this particular point in the market. I sold in a bear trap. Instead, I should have accumulated more. Red days like these ones should be celebrated, all right? Those are the best buying opportunities. You know the famous saying of Warren Buffett, be fearful when everyone is greedy and be greedy when others are fearful. Now is the time to actually accumulate as much Bitcoin as possible because yeah, you've seen how fast Bitcoin can increase when it has the right market momentum. And now it's basically a Black Friday sale. So yeah, it's probably a really great time to load up and to accumulate as much as possible. Here's another tweet by Crypto Rover. He's saying Bitcoin is oversold. So here you're seeing the RSI, so the relative strength index. Here you're seeing that Bitcoin right now is reaching oversold levels. Similarly to earlier when Bitcoin was at 52,000 or 50,000, it was also at a similar level. And what happened afterwards? Well, Bitcoin went on a massive rally up. So if history repeats itself again, which most of the times it does, because Bitcoin, yeah, from day to day, it's very volatile. The price of Bitcoin can go up with a few percent. It can go up with 5,000, 10,000. It can dump with 20,000. But that is just short-term market volatility. But over the long term, actually, Bitcoin tends to move in very predictable patterns. And usually, history rhymes. It doesn't always repeat, but it for sure rhymes, meaning that there's a lot of similarities with past situations. And that's why I really like to study the past to understand what might happen in the near future. So here is another tweet by Michael van de Poppe. He's saying the current daily RSI on Bitcoin has happened a few times in the past 3 years. June 22, which was after the collapse of Luna, November 2022 after the collapse of FTX. So this shows you, these were like extremely intense situations. When Luna collapsed, when FTX collapsed, those are almost traumatic experiences that we've seen in the market. And now Bitcoin is at similar fear levels, which is absolutely insane, guys. Bitcoin is at 80, 90,000, all right? That's so super high. Yet the market is extremely fearful. So two other instances where we saw such a low RSI was August 2023 and February 2025. After all of those events, the price has rallied. So this means probably that right now the bottom is close and that the bull market is going to resume again soon. But this is the moment where all of the Bitcoin tourists are flushed out of the market. Here's a tweet by Chris MM Crypto. He's saying at below 20 extreme fear, I go blindly all in like a maniac. So why is he saying that? Again, because oftentimes history rhymes. So when we go back in time, like these situations, like Michael explained over here, every time that we've seen these extreme fear levels and these oversold levels on the RSI, usually we've seen massive bumps in Bitcoin. So Naval Ravikant, which is a very well-known and established and respected entrepreneur and investor, he actually created Angel List. He always gives a lot of really great quotes and insights on his X profile, and he's saying much of investing is avoiding FOMO buying, so buying when the market is pumping, and panic selling, meaning selling when the market is extremely fearful and when it just dumped. And I do believe that the best strategy is just to accumulate as much as possible and to be patient and to see time as your best wingman. Because over time, if the Bitcoin market cycles repeat itself, which probably they will, unless we see very big evidence that they won't, but yeah, most likely they will, then just by being patient, you can generate insane results. But everyone just wants to get rich today. They want to get rich tomorrow. They're not patient. They don't have a long-term perspective. But if you understand that Bitcoin moves in 4-year cycles, then right now Bitcoin is still super cheap. And if you just accumulate as much as possible right now and you're willing to hold on it for at least 4 years, then the likelihood that you're going to be able to sell it for a much higher price is very high. But most people don't have that patience. They want to get rich today, and that is one of the biggest traps. So if you're watching this video right now and you're feeling a little bit fearful, you're feeling, you're in panic, then maybe it is because you've invested too much. Never invest with money that you need on the short term, and never invest with money that you're not willing to lose. And the third thing is that you're probably lacking a long-term perspective or a long-term horizon for your investments. Because the longer you're willing to hold on to your Bitcoin, the lower risk your investment actually becomes. Because the short-term price fluctuations that we see right now don't really matter. All you need to look at are the long-term Bitcoin 4-year cycles that you want to ride out. So here is another tweet by Crypto Burp. He's saying, you are about to enter the most abundant, prosperous, opportunity-filled phase of your life. Believe in the golden bull run. So what he's hinting at is, right now, the masses are completely panicking. They're super scared. They're shitting their pants, literally. Not literally, figuratively. But although some might actually literally shit their pants right now. But what the smart money is doing, they're understanding that after such intense market dips and crashes, usually we see massive bumps and massive rallies. So the big money is made right now. So what is it that you want to be doing? You probably just want to accumulate as much as possible. So my personal strategy is I accumulate Bitcoin by buying Bitcoin on the open market, and in parallel, I'm also mining Bitcoin. So I've got a bunch of mining machines that are producing Bitcoin consistently, whether the price of Bitcoin goes up or down. Those machines produce more Bitcoin. So those are my two strategies to accumulate as much Bitcoin as possible, and I have a long-term perspective. I'm not in it to get rich tomorrow, because then you're going to get super anxious, but I'm in it to make wealth or to generate as much wealth as possible in the next few decades. And for the short term, I'm not reliant on my investments. Look, my investments are my retirement, okay? I'm not reliant right now on that source of income, because I have a business that is able to provide for my day-to-day living expenses. And probably if you're watching this video, you've either got a job or a business, and just make sure that you can live from the cash flow from your job or your business. And whatever excess money that you have available, now might be a really great time to allocate it to the market, to invest it, to put your money into great assets that have a very high likelihood of appreciating in value over the long term. And in my opinion, Bitcoin is one of those best assets out there, because Bitcoin has a very limited, it has a hard cap of 21 million Bitcoin that will ever be in circulation. And we're living in unprecedented times. Countries are embracing Bitcoin, pension funds are embracing Bitcoin, even banks are embracing Bitcoin. We've never been in a more positive environment, in a more bullish setup for Bitcoin. So yeah, this is the time to change your mindset from being fearful to seeing this as the biggest possible opportunity that the universe has given to you to build your wealth. Of course, guys, nothing that you're seeing here in this video is financial advice. I'm simply sharing what I believe based on my research, my understanding, my many years of being in this market. But if I see this opportunity, I see this as a massive gift from the universe, as a blessing, as a way to build wealth at an accelerated pace. Now, if we really zoom out and we really read between the lines and really want to understand what's going on, well, if you ask me, what is going on right now is that the whales are manipulating the market. Now, whales, whenever they see a really great asset and they want to accumulate more, those institutions or whales, they've got billions to invest. But imagine if you invest 100 billion into an asset on the open market, then boom, suddenly the price of something starts to go up very drastically. So whales need to spread out their buying points over time, all right? They need to accumulate, and they want to suppress the price of that asset so that they can buy as much of that asset as cheaply as possible. So whales follow something that we call the Wyckoff pattern. So this is a pattern where they drive the price of an asset up slowly because they're accumulating, then they push it back down because they are not done with accumulating yet, then they buy a little bit more, and then they drive the price down a little bit more, and then slowly over time they're able to accumulate within a certain range. That's what we call the Wyckoff. And the Wyckoff pattern can be either in an accumulation phase or distribution phase. So either meaning that they buy assets or that they're trying to sell assets at the top. And right now, what I believe is happening is that the whales and the institutions are manipulating the market to buy as much Bitcoin as humanly possible because they understand the long-term potential of this asset. They understand that right now it's still dirt cheap. So yes, BlackRock sold 5,000 Bitcoin, but that is all part of this pattern. That's exactly what we would expect BlackRock to do right now if it would follow this Wyckoff accumulation pattern. Now you see that when we take this pattern over here, which is usually how the institutions and the whales accumulate, and we overlay it exactly with what we're currently seeing, then we are here at this spring section. So here, the spring, meaning that from here we'll probably go for a massive pump, a little correction down, and then we're going to rally again, and most likely we're going to see new all-time highs. So I'm really curious to hear your thoughts, guys. Do you believe that right now we are actually experiencing this Wyckoff accumulation pattern and that the whales are actively suppressing the price so that they can buy as much cheap Bitcoin as possible? I'm also really curious to hear what you're doing in this market right now. Are you selling, are you buying, or are you waiting? So I'm really curious to hear your comments. And hey guys, if you enjoyed watching this video, do me one quick favor. Please smash your like button. That will give me good feedback that you got good value out of this video. And if you haven't done so yet, also make sure to subscribe to my channel because I'm going to be posting regular videos just like this one to help you to make sense of everything that's currently going on in the market. And my goal is to help you to position yourself for maximum profits within the crypto market. I want to get as many of you to cross the finish line as possible. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Peace out. Take care. Invest safely, and I'll see you in the next one. All right.